everyone? This is Revolution Talk. My name is Zeta Ceti. We are here live in New York City at MJUnpacked 2023, and I have one of the special guests on this show, George Jage, CEO, founder. How you doing, George?
Zeta, it's so nice to see you, man. It's great to have you guys here.
Wow, what a great show, man. It's awesome. Tell us all about how you started this and where does MJUnpacked come from?
It's been a long journey, and so I've been in the event space for 30 years. I built MJ BizCon. I left in 2017, but always saw that the industry is going to be a consumer packaged goods industry, and there wasn't an event that really focused on meeting the needs of the market at the moment, of really supporting and elevating the frontline brands, retailers, cultivators,
right,
and all the supply chain decisions and purchasing decisions emanate from that group. But more importantly, it's the last intersection before we reach a consumer, and we need to have a quality flower. We need to have a trusted brand that's tested. We need to have a safe educational retail environment for people to go in and engage the category and then win consumers, right? That's how we grow our market.
Yeah.
We ended up starting this business and getting funded in February 2020. Timing probably couldn't have been worse.
Right.
The entire world shut down. We did some virtual events. I'm not a fan. It just, I don't look at this so much as a trade show as I look at it and approach it as a circus in a way.
Right.
Of really creating that excitement and kind of feeling that people have when you go and see a show or you experience something that blows your hair back, and you go and tell 10 friends, like, this was a really great, I got a lot out of this, I really enjoyed myself.
Right.
And we take a very kind of hospitality first approach to the event too, so that mail badges, if you register early enough, have these turnkey booths for a lot of our exhibitors, so it eliminates inefficiencies, costs, and we're just trying to build a better model.
Right.
It's been a long road to get here, and it takes a couple of show cycles to really kind of win over that kind of hearts and minds of the trade, but this is a big breakthrough event for us. I mean, the timing on it in New York, licenses are rolling out, the market's activating, New Jersey, Connecticut, news out of Delaware this week, Rhode Island, Massachusetts is doing really well with their program. It's Pennsylvania, Ohio are going to fall soon eventually.
It's all coming.
It's all coming, and I think there's so much excitement and investment opportunity out on the East Coast right now, where the West Coast, because of the tightness of the capital markets, have been really struggling by their inability to maybe control some of the illicit market.
Right. Taxation too.
Taxation, over-taxation, 280E. Safe banking's ridiculous. I mean, it's a failure of our government to provide some public safety on that. People are getting killed working a $15 an hour retail job right now, and that's just shameful that our government can't get out of our way.
It is, man. It is terrible. But coming back to the event, what I really love about this event is that super specialized, high quality, man. And when you go to some of these other events like MJ BizCon or even bigger events, it's all diluted, right?
Yeah.
And so it looks like you've taken that approach to get that specialized, high quality experience.
It is, and I think the natural evolution of nascent industries, you start kind of seeing kind of its channels, and this is again MJ Biz. It's a great show. I enjoyed the work I did there, but it's a supply side show, and their attendance has been down the last 2 years in a row for a reason, because if you're going out and getting a license today in a new state, most likely you probably have your business plan, your SOPs, what kind of equipment you're going to use, what kind of light bulbs you want, what kind of packaging you're going to use. So you're not necessarily needing to go to a supply side show to look at a huge, massive sea of light bulbs and label makers. You're looking for deal flow, you're looking for access to capital, you're looking for retail brand and cultivation partners. And that's where the action of the market is right now. And so right time, right place, right people in the room, right? So qualifying so that, and it's honestly the business model. We looked at all the shows that are available and said, what sucks? And when you have a show like MJ Biz that has 30,000 people, and half of them are tire kickers looking for a job or trying to sell from the aisle, I mean, it becomes very dilutive on your return on objectives and your return on investment.
100%. Every time I've done, you even set up booths at conferences like that, just I expect no conversions. Right. And I feel like here at MJUnpacked, you're able to really engage in meaningful conversations. Right. See new brands that come out, meet new people. It's awesome.
One of the first shows we did, somebody came up to Kim and I, my wife is my business partner, and said grabbed us and hugged us, and every conversation I had at this event has been juicy, and I'm that's the perfect testimonial we want to hear from people. And listen, it's very humbling, and we're very grateful. I mean, we work really hard to try to create something very special. I mean, we're here to serve the industry. We want to lift the industry up. We want to help people be more successful.
Yes.
The overwhelming praise and compliments that we get is, like I said, it fills our bucket. That's what we're here to do.
Absolutely.
It can be a little bit overwhelming for us. I think our whole staff's just like exhausted.
I'm sure.
But that's what keeps our gas tank full. Is like when we hear that we're changing people's lives.
Yeah.
And that, like, somebody stopped me yesterday. They're like, I got a card license. And I'm like, that's awesome. He goes, I only got it because of you, because I came last year and I met 2 people and they helped me get it.
That's amazing.
Right.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we're working with the Card Coalition of New York. We met Jason over there. He told us his story, very personal. I don't want to share spill his beans on air, but I mean, here's a guy that was very disadvantaged. Written off by society, and he's going to be a retailer in the cannabis industry. And if we're not fighting for those people, if we're not helping lift those people up, then I don't want to run this business.
And that's the point of what we're trying to do, is help unify the industry in a way that allow these folks to come in and not be held behind.
Yeah,
right.
We need to get legacy at the table. I mean, and it's a really kind of a nice edge. I don't envy like the OCM. I mean, they need to go in and shut down the illicit stores that have popped up, but they need to not cause further harm to the legacy industry that has supplied us with really good weed for a lot of years. And thank you all for all of your work and perseverance in this industry and the risks you've taken.
Yes.
We want to make sure you have a seat at the table. You're always welcome at MJUnpacked, that's for sure.
Yes.
And if we can ever help you be successful, we're here for you.
Yeah, and I thought it was amazing when I was looking at, allowing those types of attendees to come to this conference. I saw it said licensed applicants or people like trying to apply for a license. That is so critical, because these are the new entrepreneurs trying to come in.
They need to find people that can help them get there.
Absolutely, and that's been my life's work in this industry, is helping people bridge the gap. To come into the industry.
That's the stuff you get to take with you after you die.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You can make an impact in people's lives, and that's why I fell in love with trade shows, because what we do here doesn't just affect the people that are here. It's affecting their employees. It's affecting their employees' families. Companies more successful because of a meeting they had here might let one of their employees' kids go to a better school or a better college or have a better future. Right. That. It's kind of that butterfly effect. It just spills out well beyond us, and we've had some really beautiful experiences in other events we've run. Gentleman that owned a tea farm in Assam, his father was going to shut it down, sell a family farm that's been in their family for generations, and have to take factory jobs, and they won a competition that we held, and they were able to actually save their family farm. And we heard the letter, we never met these guys. They submitted their tea through one of their importers, but it's like that stays with me every day.
It's amazing stories.
Every day.
Yeah, it's amazing stories. Going to the to let's just say the investor side of the conference, have you ever been able to quantify or possibly quantify the amount of deals that are happening or the amount of investment that's actually?
I would love to.
I was going to ask.
We'll make the show free. We'll just take 1% of the action.
Right.
No, listen, we've helped people make millions of dollars and create $1 billion deals, and like I said, that's part of what we want to do. It's just a challenging time because cannabis is going through a very tight capital crunch on top of obviously the larger kind of economic concerns about a recession, whether we're in one or going into one.
Inflation alone.
Inflation, and again, those other issues we talked about, overtaxation, overregulation. But the investment community, it's like we need to start seeing some fresh meat coming in here, because a lot of the early stage private investors that came in, they intentionally and knowingly and willingly maybe placed 20 place bets on the table, hoping 3 or 4 of them are going to make it and they'd get a win. But they're still waiting for a lot of these small companies because the liquidity is not there on these private, early stage. Some of them have gone away. I mean, MJ Freeway was,
I remember seeing that.
I mean, they were the biggest, POS company, and now that's, the company got sold off, and it's a shell company for cryptocurrency mining, right? So I think that. Getting some of that fresh meat, the venture funds, a lot of them, have, again, if they've got dry powder, they're saving it so they can support those investments they made and make sure that they don't, protect the assets, right? And so I think we're starting to see some very early indications that private equity is looking at cannabis. There was a couple people, that openly admitted, like, we're a private equity firm, but we're pretending to be a VC firm right now.
Right.
And you know, getting that private equity. I mean, it's still probably a couple years away before we can have access to institutional company. The Neo Exchange up in Canada is looking at uplisting one of the companies that has a lot better liquidity in it than some of the other Canadian stock markets. They also own the Chicago Board of Options Exchange. So, you know, things get really exciting when we have that access to capital. I mean, this industry, despite all of these challenges we just talked about, is still growing 10%,
100%,
20, you know, double-digit growth year over year. This is a $25-30 billion industry right now, and alcohol is $250 billion. Like, there is a very clear path that we can eclipse that because cannabis is a safer, less harmful intoxicant to society. And we're removing that stigma. We're introducing form factors, so people, you don't have to change, you know, the lubrication of going to a bar. You just change the intoxicant, right? You can still have a Jack and Coke, but it's going to be a Granddaddy Purple and Coke, right?
That's awesome.
So,
well, it's always like this, man. It's always in waves. You know, we're just in that down wave for a minute, and all that's going to change. I mean, I definitely 100% agree with you. It's gonna skyrocket like crazy. I mean, we haven't even got the decriminalization at the federal level. Whenever that's going to happen, but we're just leading up to that point.
And what does that look like too? I mean, you know, it's Schedule 3, Schedule, you know, 2. I mean, like, it needs to be descheduled. I mean, the fact that cannabis is considered by the Drug Enforcement Agency as more dangerous than fentanyl today is absolutely, again, ridiculous. And I call upon all the politicians in Washington, you are failing us miserably, and you're failing. I mean, fentanyl should be Schedule 1. Cannabis, deschedule. It's getting people off fentanyl and off opioids that you allow. You know, Purdue to, you know, hook our, you know, people in society on. It's like, you know,
terrible. I mean, it's ravaging communities.
It is, and it's unfortunate. And you know, where marijuana should not be a political football, it's being used as one because of the divisiveness in Congress. That they can go out and say, well, you know, the Democrats want to, you know, legalize weed, and it's a gateway drug that's going to put your kids on opioids, and they're protecting communities that are strung out on opioids because they were prescribed by a trusted physician, right? It's just,
and they can easily access it from the parents' medicine cabinet. I mean, it's just terrible. There's not enough education around it, and of course,
kids at schools are having pill parties. They don't even know what they're taking.
I know, it's terrible, man. It's terrible. And then we have the illicit drugs coming across the border, and they're lacing it with fentanyl. You know, they're getting it off the street.
It's cheaper to get people higher quicker.
I know. So cannabis, 100% therapeutic medicine. Always believe that. But it's also a fiber, a textile. It's like there's so many different uses from it.
I don't want to seem too optimistic, but I think like the cannabis plant itself can save the world, right? It truly can. It's something that nature made for us. You know, Raphael Mechoulam, you know, RIP, and thank you for all the research he's done and for our industry. Yeah, he recently passed away, but you know, discovered the endocannabinoid system that perfectly matches with a phytocannabinoid system that exists in plants that works in a lock and key mechanism that our brains were designed to be receptors for, right? Like pay attention to the facts, people, right? But like when you talk about hemp, like, and this is a focus show on cannabis, but like I get excited about it because I've had you know, Ralph Nader come and speak at a previous event, and like he's such a cool guy, but you know, it could disrupt the energy industry with for fuel. It could textiles industry. It actually can restore, you know, toxified soil. The plastics industry to have a true biodegradable plastic. And we need to kind of get that infrastructure. If the government wants to invest trillions of dollars on stuff, like let's build decortization plants so we can use this textile as a fiber and support American farmers. And you know, start harvesting the energy from the hemp seed fuel.
Absolutely. There's so many different resources that we can use out of
Big
that.
time.
It has electrical conductivity out here too as well to replace, like, for lithium batteries. I mean, it goes that deep.
Yeah, I mean, we're strip mining the earth right now to harvest rare earth elements to make lithium batteries. The demand's just going to increase for, right?
Right, absolutely. So coming back to the event, where do you guys see this going, the future of MJUnpacked? I know you guys are going to Detroit.
We're excited. Like our long-term goal is somewhat to kind of, and this isn't saying we want to be as big as Natural Products. We want to be like the right size show that people get the most benefit out of. But this is a consumer packaged goods show. We want to build this as a national consumer packaged goods platform. We're looking at adding and augmenting another event platform that will really kind of focus on the state markets, because that's where the transactions really still happen. Like, you got a license, you're a brand in Michigan, I'm a retailer in Michigan, we do business. If I'm from New York, we can't yet, but when you start, you know, manufacturing product here, I want to put you on my shelves. So, you know, we want to kind of bridge that gap. And you know, we want to continue to, you know, kind of meet the needs of the market at the moment. We probably over-engineer the event to make it as cool as possible, but you know, we want, you know, this is such a dynamic industry, so
it is.
You know, what challenges we're going to be facing next year, I don't know. You know, we want to probably create space for small farmers, right, to grow that are growing small batch cannabis, to have a place at this. So there's a marketplace for them to get their product to market as a premium product, as large-scale manufacturers start kind of mass producing this.
Right. Well, awesome. George, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Pleasure.
Zeta, this is Revolution Talk. George from MJUnpacked. Come out to MJUnpacked, check it out, get involved, participate. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Awesome, man. That was great.